Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of me breaking down some fights here. I was going to be breaking down UFC 196, but this card has completely changed. They've lost the main event over the last week or so. Cain Velasquez pulled out, Stipe Miocic came in, and then Fabrizio Verdum pulled out. So then I think the UFC made the very smart decision of moving this to a fight night card. And moving UFC 197 McGregor v Aldo to UFC 196, if you know what I mean. Overall, I didn't think it was a very good card for a pay-per-view. Few fights I'm looking forward to, but overall I thought it was a pretty weak-looking pay-per-view. But it's a fight night card, not a bad-looking card. So before I get into all this, come follow me on Twitter, WillMartin7MMA. And as always, go support the guys that I really enjoy listening to. Listen to their predictions, listen to their podcasts. Half the Battle, Flying Brian, Rockstar's Easy, Fight Breakdowns, brilliant. And the podcast of James Lynch, Colin Bardsley, and the Part and Shot podcast, and Sean and Andrew on the Severe MMA podcast. They're the best ones in the business, in my opinion. I have a lot of time for those guys. They help me out a lot with certain things, and they have done in the past, and they're just genuinely top class guys. So go check them out if you can. Right, starting down in the featherweight division, we have Artem, the Russian Hammer Lobov against Alex White. Now, I've kind of got a lot of shit on Twitter the last week regarding Artem Lobov. He's 11-11 fighter with his record. Well, the reason is that Artem Lobov would literally fight probably every week if he could, and he'd fight in 3 or 4 different divisions. He'd go from featherweight to lightweight to welterweight. It wouldn't surprise me if he even jumped into a middleweight bout. It's the kind of guy that Artem Lobov is. Is it smart? Probably not. And he has got losses in his record that he might not have had if he didn't jump around divisions too much. But he's a really fun fighter to watch. Comes forward with his hands down, throws some big strikes, looks for those combinations. But he's got that one-shot power to really put you on your ass like he did Julian Erosa. We've seen him in the Ultimate Fighter show where ultimately that might be the best we see of Artem Lobov over his whole career. Hopefully I'm wrong, because I think he's a guy that the UFC could really utilise quite well with some of the cards, because he will fight non-stop if he could. We seen in the house, he knocked out a few people, he went through a Rosa, and then he got to the finals where he met Ryan Hall, and Ryan Hall's just, his grappling's just a complete other level. He totally stifled Artem Lobov. And got the decision victory there. So he's against Alex White here. Now I think this could be a very exciting fight, because I think Alex White has a lot of deficiencies in his game. His defense is not overly good. I think his striking can be sloppy. I think he gasses out a little bit, which I think plays into Lobov's favour a little bit, because I think that Artem has a fairly good gas tank and keeps on going. So more than Alex White, he kind of lost to Lucas Martins, which is not a bad loss, because I don't think Martin's a bad fighter in that division. And then he lost to Clay Collin in it was a slop fest of a fight. Watched it this afternoon, and I wish I didn't. It'll be the last time I watch it again. And lost the decision victory there. It wasn't a good fight. Dove in for sloppy takedowns, and if he does that against Lobov, I think Lobov could potentially punish him. But saying that, Lobov hasn't got the best of takedown defense either. So my pick, I'm going to pick Lobov. I think he's going to catch him with one of these big bombs that he throws. But I could see Alex White winning as well if he gets his game plan properly. So I'm going to go Artem Lobov, TKO, round number 3. Welterweight division, we have Mickey Gall against Mike Jackson. Basically, the winner of this fight, or at least on Mickey Gall's side, is that he wins this fight. He gets the big money fight, kind of with CM Punk. He'll get a fight which will probably make himself quite a bit of money. And he's got the chance to beat up CM Punk, which is quite a nice little thing. Lots of people have been calling for that. So haven't seen much of the guy. Seen some of his jiu-jitsu tournament fights in there. His fights in the jiu-jitsu tournaments looked okay. Got caught in some rear naked chokes, and he let the guy in when he really should have. Haven't seen much of his striking. He's only had one fight, and we kind of find out about this guy and looking for a fight when Dana was at the show, and he called out wanting the CM Punk fight. I don't know why they didn't just give him the CM Punk fight, because he's fighting a guy here, 0-0 record, one amateur fight. he won that amateur fight. I also seen some jiu-jitsu tournament fights. Nothing to write home about. I'm not going to get into this much. I'm going to go with a guy who trains at a better camp. He trains with the Miller brothers out in New Jersey. Mickey Gall. I just think if you're training with decent guys like that and you've got guys behind you like that, you're going to learn some decent stuff off of Dan and Jim. So Mickey Gall, submission in the second round. Moving on to the featherweight division, we have Noad Lahat against Diego Rivas. I think this is a total mismatch. I think Noad Lahat is coming up. Diego Rivas, I don't think he'll get much better than what he's at the minute. He faced Rodolfo Rubio, I think it was, and one of the fight nights, and he was not great. It was another slop fest of a fight. Another fight I never wish to watch and I'll never watch again. Kind of put him against Rubio against the fence. He was the more dominant striker. Rubio was coming forward, trying to throw strikes, but Rivas put him against the cage, initialised some nice kind of shots against the cage, took him down. Rubio got back to his feet, and it was just kind of like that for 3 rounds. Very kind of sloppy as well. So Noad Lahat last time out, he beat Nicholas Backstrom, I think it was. Back and forward fight. I think I actually gave that to Nicholas Backstrom. And I remember he lost to Godofredo Pepe. He got caught with a big shot there. But this guy's got legit skills when it goes to the ground here. And I don't think Rivas can take him down. I think that Lahat will push himself forward, try and put Rivas against the cage, and initiate the takedown from there. If he gets him to the ground, I think it's only going to be a matter of time before he finds a submission of some sort. I think once he gets your back, he's very dominant there. He's got a nice triangle around the body. He doesn't let you go anywhere. Pepper shot with shots before he opens up the submission. And I like that, the finish in this fight for Noad Lahat. I think it's a nice fight for him here. So Noad Lahat via submission. I'm going to go first round. I think he can catch him early. Great fight in the prelims here. This was going to be in the UFC Fight Pass portion before the whole card kind of got mixed up in that. Ray Borg versus Justin Scoggins, 2 up-and-coming fighters in the flyweight division. Ray Borg is just a talent, a pure talent. You can see it for the minute he came in against Dustin Ortiz. A lot of people gave the fight to Borg. I'm not one to disagree. I think that I thought Ortiz maybe just got it, but it was a very close fight. That's just my opinion. But since then, he submitted, I think it was Shane Howell, Chris Kalides, and then last time out, I think he didn't fight as much to his potential as what he usually can against Gian Herrera. But Herrera, I think, is a really good talent in that division as well, and we'll see in the next 12 months where he goes from there. Justin Scoggins, on the other hand, he came into the UFC, training out American Top Team. I don't think he's there anymore. Training back home in Carolina. Comes out a nice kind of karate stance, some decent striking. I don't think his game planning's overly great yet. He goes in for sloppy takedowns and he gets caught sometimes, like he did against John Moraga. You could see it coming. He was just leaving his neck in there, and John Moraga coming out of the MMA lab, working with John Crouch and Benson Henderson and so on. Finally just caught him in a submission there and put him to sleep. Came back with a nice win over Josh Sampo. Just outstruck Josh Sampo and had the better game plan, better movement, better lateral movement, was in and out, popped him with a jab, and Sampo was just a little bit too slow. The way I see this fight going is I think it'll be fairly even on the feet. I don't think Borg's a slouch on the feet either. But I think once this hits a clinch position or goes to the ground, I think that Ray Borg has a definitive advantage down here. He's very creative, very quick to jump on positions of dominance when they're in the scrambles. So I'm going to go Ray Borg via submission in the third round. I just think when Scoggins starts to tire out a little bit, Ray Borg can get him here. So Ray Borg submission early third round. Heavyweight division. Derrick Lewis versus Damian Grabowski. Grabowski, newcomer in the UFC, 35-year-old heavyweight. Pretty small for the division. I think he's about 6 foot. Doesn't have much of a reach. Doesn't have much of a striking game. Very sloppy. Dives in, head in the air. And for the heavyweight division, that's not great. 20-2 record. Most of his wins are by submission. Once the fight hits the ground, he is very dangerous down there. He has an array of submissions to his name. His last loss was to Marcin Tybura, who is coming into the UFC, and this guy could be a real potential challenger for the belt within inside the next 24 months, a really top fighter. But basically what Grabowski is going to do here is want to take Lewis down and try and initiate submissions, because I think he has a huge advantage there. But Derrick Lewis, I think he's shown some pretty good takedown defense. Well, iffy takedown defense, but I think his scrambling to his feet it's looked okay. He's trading wins and losses at the minute. He lost to Sean Jordan. Then he came back with a nice win over Victor Pesta. I thought I've picked Pesta in that one. I thought Pesta, being the younger fighter, the better gas tank, would win that fight. Completely wrong. Derrick Lewis came through with the W there. And he has ridiculous power. Ridiculous power. He doesn't even have to hit you hard to take you out here. And that's how I see this fight going. I'm going to go Derrick Lewis by a first round knockout. Lightweight, the main event of the Fox Sports 1 portion, Josh Burkman against KG Nunes. I think this could be a loser leaves town kind of fight here. Josh Burkman moving down from the welterweight division to the lightweight division here, coming off losses, stoppages to Dong Young Kim and Patrick Cote last time out. Not the biggest fan of Josh Burkman. I don't think his skills are overly that great. I thought it was all kind of hyped up coming in from the WSOF after submitting John Fitch, who has deteriorated pretty badly in his career. Don't rate him very highly. I don't think he'll be around the UFC very much longer. But I think he has a favourable matchup here in KG Nunes. I think if he's smart, he should beat KG Nunes. KG Nunes is obviously going to have the striking. I think he will have the striking advantage in this one. I think he's a lot crisper striker, a lot faster hand speed. So, but he does kind of have really bad grappling, and he does get taken down fairly easy. If Burkman kind of used a good game plan, gets him down there, pepper him with shots, I like Josh Burkman. But might be a little bit of a back and forward tussle this, but I'm going to go Josh Burkman via decision. Welterweight division, another fight I'm not really looking forward to. Mike Pyle against Sean Spencer. Mike Pyle has been around a long time. I think he's got a 26-12 record, coming off a couple of losses. Got knocked out to Matt Brown, got decision by Colby Covington last time out, and I think his chin is gone pretty much, but saying that, he is losing to big hitters in that division, so going way back to Rory McDonald at UFC 133. So if you find your spot with this guy, you've got a very good chance of taking him out. But yeah, it's a really good ground game. If he can get you to the ground, he's being the veteran that he is, he's very savvy down there. He looks for submissions. He goes to different positions on the ground very easily, and he'll wear you out down the ground. And then when you give him the slightest opportunity, he will take you out. Decent grappling skills, good. He's got some good clinch striking as well, I noticed, but very flat-footed. Has his chin there ready to be hit. But he's against Sean Spencer here, who I think he's a boxer by trade, but he's only got 2 knockouts in his record. Kind of got screwed over by Cathal Pendred last time out, must admit. I thought he should have won that fight. Crisp boxing, nice jab, no power behind it, nice technique. Okay takedown defense, but I can't really remember too much of him off his back, how good he was, how bad he was. I wouldn't reckon he's even in the league of Mike Pyle. But I think if he can keep the fight on the feet, I think that he can possibly win this fight. I've been going back and forward in this pick. I'm going to go with the veteran, just not confident in it one little bit, but I'm going to go Mike Pyle decision. Light heavyweight division with Misha Cirkunov against Alex Nicholson. Last hour I've watched 3 fights of Alex Nicholson, and this guy is raw. A very green fighter. He's got no defense whatsoever, and for being a light heavyweight, that's not good, especially coming into the UFC against a guy like Cirkunov, who's good in his feet, very good in the ground. Against Chaz Walker, I think it was, he got dropped with a left and right, got back up. The guy was thrown, it was terrible hammer fists he was throwing in the ground. He got back up and knocked him out with a couple of shots, but he got taken down twice in that fight. The fight before that against Dylan Chotea, he won the fight via spinning back fist, but this guy was keeping a hold of him. I think he actually put him on his backside as well. in that one, and got hit with a lot of shots. Very, very, the cans, basically jobbers of out there in the regional circuit. No defence, comes barreling forward. I think if Cirkunov can just use his footwork and circle, he can knock him out. Personally, I think Misha Cirkunov has probably seen enough of this guy initiate the takedown, and he's going to submit him all day. He's got as many submission wins as he has losses. Had a really nice first round win over Daniel Johny in his debut. I like Misha Cirkunov big in this one. I think he's going to stop this fight in the first round. So Misha Cirkunov, first round submission for me. Flyweight division, good fight. Joseph Benavidez against Zach Makovsky. Off the bat, I like Joseph Benavidez. I think it's 5 years, and his only losses are like Dominic Cruz and twice to Demetrius Johnson. He beats anybody else that you kind of put in there with him. Coming off a really nice win over Ali Bagautinov at UFC 192 in Houston. I really want to see the old Joseph Benavidez that finished people. I think he might have a good chance of beating Zach Makovsky here. I've got a funny feeling that a submission victory might not be far away if he can get a hold of Makovsky. Makovsky is a good grappler himself, and he's very savvy. He's a veteran himself. I think Benavidez, if he can use some of that power, we've seen him against Tim Elliott. He's very good when it goes to the ground, and he can improvise in a lot of positions. So, Makovsky, I think he's a good fight. I don't think he's going to really. I think he's hit his level in the UFC. I think this is too much. Joseph Benavidez via decision. Light heavyweight, Ovince and Preux against Rafael Cavalcante. Cavalcante, Fejai was on his way out in my opinion. Most of his losses of his career being TKO and knockout. I don't think that's a good thing going against OSP here, who has big power. We've seen him hurt Teixeira. He did lose that fight to Teixeira, but we've seen him in Shogun. He's got a huge reach advantage as well. That if he catches a big shot, throws a big shot and catches with it, you're in trouble. Cavalcante, I think, is on his way out. Lost to Patrick Cummins last time via TKO. He just got barred in that fight. He does have big power, so you have to watch out. But I think with all the kind of drug tests that they're doing now, the guy's got no chance. I think he was on the stuff back in the day. Could be wrong, but I like OSP in this one. I think he can take him out. TKO, second round for OSP. Co-main event, Roy Nelson against Rosholt. I don't think this is a great fight either. Roy Nelson, huge power. We all know he's got that huge power shot. Gas is fairly bad. That was over a 5-round fight against Josh Barnett, where the kind of roles were reversed a little bit. He took Josh Barnett down, while Josh Barnett kind of outstruck Roy Nelson and hit him with the bigger power shots. Weird fight, but Jared Rosholt, not a fun fighter. This guy goes to decision all the time, and he gets dropped as well. He got dropped by Tim Johnson. Alexei Olenek put him on his arse and knocked him out. But if he has phenomenal wrestling, if you get him down there, his top position is you don't move this guy. You really, like with Stefan Struve, you put him on his back and completely kind of dominated him from there. Not technical on the feet, he has a little bit of power for heavyweight, but nothing to shout out about. I like Roy Nelson in this one, very much so by a knockout. So knockout first round. I think once he hits that first big shot, big overhand right, I think it could be night for Jared Rosholt. Interesting if the fight goes longer, because Rosholt can maybe go in for takedowns. I think he'll want to put him against the fence and try and take him down. Nelson's tough to take down though, so I like Nelson big in this one, but I'm going to go first round knockout for this one. And the main event, Johny Big Rig Hendricks against Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. Really good fight, interesting fight here, which would be on any UFC card that they have this year. My main thing with this one is, this has just been changed to a 5-round main event, and we've seen with Johny Hendricks, he's been in 5-round fights before. Thompson hasn't. But he must have been training for a 3-round fight, and that kind of puts me off Johny Hendricks a little bit, because we've seen sometimes he doesn't make weight. His cardio really goes in the 5th round. We've seen against Robbie Lawler that he got battered in that fight. What are the big pluses for Johny Hendricks? Huge power on that hand. His striking's came along since he came into the UFC. He's always had the wrestling and the grappling. We've seen against Matt Brown, that was just take him down and beat him up, get back up, take him down again, and it was just very, very much like that the whole entire fight. Stephen Thompson, I've seen him in Vegas, tough finale, destroyed just absolutely destroyed Jake Ellenberger. Before this fight even got into the cage, you could see that Wonderboy knew he was going to win that fight. You can just tell sometimes. And Jake Ellenberger was just so gun shy in that one and didn't throw anything. Get hit with a big high kick once that kind of dropped him, got back up and get hit with it again and went down. Stephen Thompson's beautiful striking. His technique's as good as anybody out there in any combat sport. His lateral movement is phenomenal. Been working with Chris Weidman on his grappling, so I think he's shored that up. I've been going back and forward on this one a little bit as well, but I think Stephen Wonderboy Thompson will be the underdog, and I said this year I'm going to pick more underdogs in fights I'm a little bit more on the fence about. Interesting to see Johny Hendricks because he hasn't fought in a while. We've seen him against Woodley, had to pull out with that fight and blame it pretty much on Mike Dolce on different things. Another side note to this thing, that Johny Hendricks has lost 2 businesses, have closed down recently, his restaurant and stuff like that, so that's not a great thing to really happen before you're fighting. I think I'm going to go Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. I think if he can stop the take early, I can see Hendricks getting the takedown, and then going into the fight I can see Wonderboy stopping the takedowns, hopefully peppering with shots coming in from those various angles that he comes in from, and next three rounds possibly. Close fight. I said back and forward with this, but I'm going to go with underdog. I'm going to go with Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, so via decision. Maybe a split decision. I'll go with that. Split decision for Wonderboy Thompson. So that's my picks for UFC Fight Night Las Vegas. I will be back for UFC Fight Night Cowboy versus Means from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. That's a great card. Cody Garbrandt against John Lineker. Hell of a fight. Lots of great talent at the bottom of that card, all the way through the card as well. Look forward to break that one down. Come follow me on Twitter, WillMartin7MMA. If you can please like, comment, and if you could subscribe and share with other people. Please tell me your picks. It's the one thing I really like hearing is your picks and your different perspectives on who you think is going to win the fight on Twitter and on here. Please do it. I'll be back for that card in a few weeks' time. Take care. Enjoy the fights when they come around, guys.